and welcome to this week's episode of the Splat Grind, because the Splat Grind stops for no one, not even e-leaders, just e-leaders. Today, I'm going to tell you my Splatoon 3 highlights from the past week. April 30th. If you're wondering why I'm playing on Sunday instead of Saturday, it's because I didn't really feel like playing on Saturday because that stupid Hydra rotation was still going, and I didn't want to play zones 2 days in a row. Today's salmon run rotation, however, is rated out of 4, so how bad can it be? The first wave, I had the blaster in normal tide. I haven't used the blaster since I brought it into tower control in January and did great. The first boss was a steelhead. Just kidding, the first boss was a dead steelhead. My teammate already got it. I missed how it felt to just blast everything. Stinger skewering you, just blast a bunch of its pods in one shot. Fish stick spraying ink on you, they won't be in 3 seconds. Slamming lids on the ground at a weird angle, sayonara. What I'm trying to say is the blaster is still great. The second wave, I had the splatter shot at high tide, and as we all know, spawning grounds at high tide is the most deadly situation a salmon run player can experience. At the beginning, I went out onto the grates to splat a drizzler. Before I could get it, I got splatted by a chum, and then someone else got the drizzler. But I was still by the egg, so I picked one up. The person with the explosion tried to revive me, and missed. Don't worry, they got me on the second try. After that initial hiccup, we were able to dominate high tide by staying by the basket and killing everything in sight. The third wave, I had the heavy splatling at low tide, and I could once again experience the serotonin that comes with mowing down everything in sight. Stinger trying to skewer you, just knock down all those pods until a chum splats you and someone else gets the kill, but I was still by the egg, so I picked one up. Once I was revived, 2 of us went out to splat another stinger that had just shown up, but a steel eel came in right next to it, so I was trying to take down the stinger while moving to avoid the steel eel, and I walked into the water. When I came back up, the steel eel was strategically wrapping itself around whatever was left of the stinger. And I was just like, end the wave now. Kill us all. I don't care. Someone dropped a wave breaker next to us, and we took them out. I found a fish stick near the basket, and I splatted it from the bottom. That's when 2 stingers started to try to skewer me. I just swam up the fish stick, threw a couple eggs in the basket, and tried not to die. Then I went to splat one of them, and I got splatted by the Quahog welcoming party. There were only 7 seconds left, so I decided to sit by the stinger and see if anyone revived me. They didn't, but we still made it out alive with 64 eggs out of 37, mainly because Razor beat 13 bosses. What? I went in again. Once again, I had the blaster on normal tide. The first boss was fly fishing. Normally, I wouldn't use my special this early, but it's egg jet time, baby. For some reason, I was having a hard time staying up, but I was able to look that fly fish in his stupid face as I blasted both of his compartments. This wave was not pure suffering, but 2 of us tried to beat a fly fish by throwing our bombs in the same compartment. The worst thing I had to deal with was coming back to the basket to find a steelhead and a second steelhead behind it. The second wave, I had the splatter shot at normal tide. The first boss was a steelhead and a second steelhead behind it. Once the first one was dispatched, I fell through the grate trying to grab an egg. As I was working my way back to the top, I saw that the second steelhead was a pile of golden eggs as well. I grabbed one and then find that I'm being chased by a scrapper, even as I swam up the ramp. That's when I realized the best way to escape getting chased by a scrapper is to just drop through the grate. The rest of the wave went smoothly after that. The third wave, I had the heavy splatling at normal tide. It started out well, but then we sort of dropped off as every Moz and Flipper Flopper decided to gather around the basket, making egg running and surviving in general pretty hard. The person with the killer whale clearly wanted to revive me and missed. I might have been able to survive the Moz, but that's when a big shot came in and I decided I am not dying to a big shot. I died to a big shot. We had our quota, but there was still one person up. As long as they survived for 16 seconds, oh wait, they're dead. We had exactly 14 eggs out of 14, guys. We could have won. I think it's funny that I got the exact same weapons in the exact order both times. What's the chance of that happening? May 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, today we continue our quest for 12 consecutive wins with the mini Splatling. So far, we're at 6, which is a precautious situation because I already got 6 wins once. You're telling me I have to do it again? Well, all I can do now is try my best and not panic. The first battle was on Hagglefish Market. We had Stinkfart and El Watusi, while they had Hot Milk in your pants, so it was anyone's game. It started out in our favor. We had the splats, but they had the Tenna missiles, and I had the turning back to cover up the Tenna missiles. And then they pushed us onto our base, but I wasn't going to let them spawn camp us to all heck. I snuck past them and let my teammates join me right in the center. We must have been able to even out the playing field, but we still lost by 5%, thus proving that a 12-win streak is still unrealistic. Also, let's take a moment to look at these stats. Rambingo got splatted twice. Stinkfart got splatted once. Elwatusi got splatted once. I got splatted 7 times. So maybe that's why we lost. The second battle was on Wahoo World. Initially, it was looking pretty dicey. Lola had driven a reef slider on our side of the rotating floor so that their back was against the wall. I had my Ultra Stamp ready. They had nowhere to go. I had a free splat. They might have had a Flings and a Dynamo, but other than that, they were not intimidating. I'm pretty sure I splatted everyone at least once. One person just super jumped in front of my Ultra Stamp. We won by 34%, and I got 1,039 points and 6 splats to 4 times splatted. The third battle was on Wahoo World. This was a pretty strong enemy team with the Inkjet and Triple Ink Strike that I got killed by because I couldn't stop Ultra Stamping. They pushed us back, but I still needed a way to get past them. That's when I saw an ink rail leading to a platform to the right that is otherwise inaccessible. I cover it up, jump down, ambush someone real quick, and make my way to the other side. Getting off the rotating floor was a drag this time. I could cover both the rotating floor and the floor next to it at the same time, but the spot I inked kept rotating away from the stationary spot, so I had to try again and again. It must have taken 4 or 5 tries, but I was able to jump over. I survived for 10 seconds max after that. We lost by 16%. Let's take a look at those stats again, shall we? Stinkfart got 5 splats. Max got 2 splats. I got 2 splats. Adrian got 0 splats, so maybe that's why we lost. Normally I'd stop here, but I'm less than 500 points from leveling up the catalog, so if I battle one more time, even if I lose, I'm leveling up. The fourth battle was on Wahoo World. We had a Splooshomatic, a Neo Splash, a 96 gal, and me. The other team had Splatlandian Youth Isaiah. Isaiah, I'm sorry, but it has to be this way. Things were going well at the start. Then after getting splatted a couple times, I noticed that the other team had F.E. Lara and F.E. Katie. And matching names must mean they're playing together. We might have had a Neo Splashomatic, but they had voice comms. Things were looking bad for me, but the HUD says that the other team is losing, so things must be going good for everyone else. We ended by invading their base and didn't realize they were invading ours until we saw the overhead. Nevertheless, we won by 13%. So I might not have been able to get my 12-win streak, but in the grand scheme of things, 8 wins out of 10 ain't bad. I still want to keep using this weapon. Maybe I can do mini Splatling Thursdays or something. May 2nd. Enough with Turf War, let's play some Salmon Run. I started with the Aerospray, the ultimate salmon gun. The first wave is also High Tide, that's not salmon fun. A stinger's coming in right next to me, it's about to be salmon done! Rhymes aside, this wave was pretty much a disaster after that. After we beat the stinger, 3 of us grab an egg, I put mine in the basket, that one guy puts his in. Delirium is running around not putting it in. I sigh and decide, well, I guess it's up to me. That's when we were hit by the deadly double flyfish. I get up there and throw a bomb at one of the flyfish and then get hit in the water by a chum. I had to float around my life ring, trailing behind the steel eel. We were down to 1 person. Then Crims revived the rest of us. And we grabbed some eggs lying around, no doubt dropped by flyfish number 3. We got those 3 eggs in at least, and then time ran out. We had 8 eggs out of 10. We died in salmon wave 1. I took my 20-point cut. I was salmon out of there. May 4th, enough about Salmon Run, let's play some Turf War. I said I was going to do Mini Splatling Thursday, and by God, I'm going to do Mini Splatling Thursday. The first battle was on Brandwater Springs. I could tell pretty early that this wasn't going to be fun. I think it was the Kraken Rollers standing there in the middle of 3 squid beacons that set me off. That person was really just there to get kills, but by the time I jumped into their lair, they were gone, so I don't know what was going on. The rest of the team was an Inkbrush, a Neo Sploosh, and a Tri-Stringer, so there were way too many killer whales. Also, how did that Tri-Stringer get me from all the way over there? Generally speaking, I was too scared to do anything until the last minute when I decided I wasn't going to win by being a baby, but the enemy team quickly beat me back into my place. We lost by 15%, and I got 892 points and 7 splats, but I also got splatted 7 times in turn. And our Reflux didn't get any splats or any Tentamissiles, which is honestly a huge Reflux fail. While we were waiting for the next battle, I saw Osol, the Tri-Stringer user, switch to an E-Leader. Oh no. The only way I could win was if they were on my team, or if Cinderman the Reflux got a single splat. The second battle was on Brandwater Springs, and the teams were exactly the same, except that Tashani had moved from our team to theirs, Rusty Gamer left, and Rita took their place. That meant I had to fight E-Leader Osol. I say fight as if I had a chance. The other three were already enough of a challenge. Oh Soul parked themselves on top of that block in the center, ready to splat anyone from anywhere, because the E-Leader's range and Brine Springs' lack of size is a deadly combination. That block is also really tiny, so if you actually make it there alive, you don't have a lot of room to work with, and they're just going to jump off. I also ran towards them a couple times. Maybe that's why I got splatted so much. 2 of us made it to the block. I was one of them, and by the time I got there, they were gone. We lost by 34%, and Oh Soul got 11 splats to 0 times splatted. I, however, went 0 and 9, baby. Cinnamon might have managed to use Tenta missiles twice, but they still didn't get any kills, which is alright because I didn't get any kills either. The only way I could win is if I quit the lobby and joined another one, honestly. It's not like we were the only 8 people playing Turf War, right? The third battle was on Brine Springs, thankfully with all new people. Hopefully, Misery, the Ink Brush, and Atlas, the 52 gal, will pull through for us. Oh no, the other team is a Flingza. This battle went better than the last one, but honestly, anything would be better than the last one. It was kind of a challenge, but it wasn't a one-sided beatdown. I might have run towards someone using an Ultra Stamp, but that was on me. The other team had Corvin and Tia, 2 Splattershot Junior mains, who seemed to exclusively get splattered within their own big bubblers. I feel kind of bad for them. Also, that Flingza was kind of a chump. I shot them up while they were in the middle of a horizontal swing. In the last 10 seconds, both Soul Zorse, the Inkbrush Nouveau, and I activated our Ultra Stamps at the same time. We sort of passed each other, and I was going to laugh that neither of us splatted each other, but I somehow got them with the very edge of my stamp, which made it even funnier. We won by 14%, and I got 6 splats to 4 times splatted. So yeah, switching lobbies is what helped. E-Leaders don't deserve to exist, and E-Leader mains don't deserve rights. May 5th, today's another ranked battle day. Splat Zones is for chumps. I'm gonna go control the tower. The first battle is on Museum d'Alfonsino against The Rock. I spent the first few seconds. Frick. I spent the first few seconds inking home base because I forgot we were playing the game of tower control. Then I went forward with everyone else. The tower starts way high up on the spinny bar, so it would take a few seconds to get there, but Nari's suction bomb helped us ink a path up there. We essentially had the tower for the whole thing because we just killed whoever got in our way, and since Crow had put a big bubbler on the tower, they couldn't even hit us. Oh, you're sloshing at us? That's cute. Die. We were making our way there. We were about to win. I had my Trizuka ready, and before I could fire it, the game was over. We won in 59 seconds. I had 5 splats to 2 times splatted. The second battle was on Wahoo World against Deku Fan. We all started out going to the left, but if you go to the left, there's a huge gap between you and the tower. I tried making the jump and failed. That's when one other person and I decided to go in on the right. The other team might have had the tower for like 3 seconds before we got in. I finally got to use my Trizuka. I got 1 whole splat. The end of the tower's path is on this curving ramp with these walls on either side of it, so it's a really tight spot where everyone's just fighting with each other. I had to go in front of the tower and just kill. We brought it into the goal in 1 minute and 12 seconds, and I got 4 splats to 1 time splatted. Have I been paired up with the team of all time? Because we are racking up these wins. The third battle was on Wahoo World. All the opponents' names were pretty normal, but it wasn't until I checked the stats just now that they had 2 Kraken rollers. After the last match, we all knew to go to the right. Nari threw their suction bomb on the tower, but Issa on the other team threw a splat bomb on top as well, splatting me and Nari. Issa, you dirty dog. The battle definitely started in their favor. I could see it coming over the horizon with a tacticooler on it, which is the second most dangerous thing you could put on the tower. My tactic was just to stay beside the tower and pick everybody off. It worked some of the time. They got down to 53 before we wiped them out and took the tower for ourselves. The battle had gone on for 1.5 minutes, which was already longer than the last 2. I was respawning as this was happening, so I ran forward to meet them at the center. When I got there, my Trizuka was ready. I got 1 splat in point blank, and it was also a trade. Nevertheless, we were able to keep the train going and kill everyone in our path. We won in 2 minutes and 28 seconds. And I got 9 splats to 6 times splatted because all I do is win, win, win no matter what. Thank you for listening to the Splat Grind. Be sure to come back next week for even more Splatoon craziness, including the Zelda Splatfest.